La la la. La 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 la. Did you just touch me?
What is that? 2024 was a year a lot came out. I did not expect 2025 to go on the same route, but here we are. And it is messy and confusing. I don't subscribe nor am I aware of most pop culture. This though was brought to my attention by a commenter that left this under a video. I did not obsess over the author, but I described a book that the author had written. However, I did obsess about the author multiple times. Yeah. Neil Gaiman is one of the most beloved and influential authors of the 21st century, and I have been heavily influenced. I absolutely love and adore his books, and they mean a lot to me. I loved them for years, and I still do, and they have helped tremendously. American Gods, Coraline, the Sandman series, and Good Omens books that have been, in my opinion, and not only in the bookish community, but also in films and movies and TV shows. The man is a genius when it comes to writing. His stories have touched millions across the world, me included. He has actually been, which is something that I've stated before multiple times, my favorite foreign author for years now. And he's just been an author that, I don't know, accidentally I've shared a lot of intimate relationship with his books. Coraline has been given to me by my father, who is now deceased. So I know that these are things that mean the world to me. See, they're inscribed by my closest people in my life ever. I sat here multiple times, loved him, even called him a god, recommended his books multiple various times. But recently, Gaiman has found himself at the center, the hot, boiling, grummy, disgusting center of controversies and allegations. One and the most prominent allegations are involving sexual assaults. But before that, hi, how are you? You thought I forgot, didn't you? I didn't. I would never. I'll probably forget someday, and while editing, I'm gonna refilm it. I'm sorry in advance if I ever forget. Anywho, hello, how are you? I hope you're doing well. Let me know if you're not, and we'll chat. Neil Gaiman was born in 1960 in England and has become one of the most significant and well-known voices in fantasy, urban fantasy, and dramatic works even, and speculative fiction. His works blend mythology, horror, fantasy into a unique meld and unique narratives that you'll find nowhere else. And the books that he creates and the stories that he creates resonate with a diverse audience. He's won numerous awards, including Hugo, Nebula, and Bram Stoker awards. His storytelling style is deeply influential, and his fan base spans across books, TV shows, and film adaptations. Ironically though, his fame also led him to become an advocate and well-known speaker and defender, I suppose, for social justice.
Let's talk about the First Amendment. What is the role of the artist in improving the world that they're in, making it a better place? The job of an artist to leave the world more interesting than they found it.
It makes you think, huh? An advocate for literacy and the creative arts. Many fans had viewed him as a progressive voice, especially in issues like free speech, representation, and gender equality. In late 2023, allegations against Neil Gaiman surfaced. These accusations had come from an anonymous source that accused him of sexual assault that allegedly took place over a period of time in the early 2000s, when Gaiman actually was a well-established author, a well-established figure in the literary word and bookish communities. The person making the accusations had shared details on social media, claiming that their interactions with Gaiman had become as a professional relationship, but quickly escalated to instances of unwanted physical contact. The anonymous individual had stated that Gaiman had behaved inappropriately, touching them without consent and pressuring them into situations they felt uncomfortable with, or allegedly asking them for things they felt uncomfortable with. 5 women came forward with allegations that they had previously faced unwanted and often violent sexual behavior from Gaiman. A reporter from New York Magazine spoke to 4 of these women, along with 4 new people, for a piece this week, which includes allegations of coerced sexual encounters, violent sexual assault, and even sexual advances and unwanted sex in the presence of Gaiman's young son. Gaiman has denied this. The accusers are adults, most of whom are much younger than Gaiman, including his son's former nanny, who was in her early 20s when she met the author, who was 61 at the time. Neil Gaiman has responded to that specifically, and that specific response, stating, "As I read through these latest collection of accounts, there are moments I half recognize and moments I don't." That's your fucking response? I don't remember. Descriptions of things that happened sitting beside things that emphatically did not happen. After that, the author has written a post in his website. "I'm far from a perfect person, but I have never engaged in non-consensual sexual activity with anyone. I do not accept there was any abuse." That's not really good, Sergeant. Not good at all. The accuser chose to remain anonymous. The allegations were taken seriously by many who heard of it. After I heard of it and after I started accumulating stuff for this video to make this for you, there were a lot of people that immediately believed everything and taken it immensely seriously, which is understandable, really. As a survivor of SA myself, it's understandable how you immediately go into defending a person or feeling this sort of protectiveness over someone that claims that had happened. But there were also voices questioning the timing. Given Gaiman's long-standing pure public image, where for decades he's been just loved and adored. Not that it doesn't happen where people are, idolized and stuff like that, and then they come out with literally out of the woodwork that they've done the most horrendous fucking shit. Still, even after Gaiman has responded twice, the accuser still chose to remain anonymous and did not wish to pursue legal action, which led many to question it and the motive behind it, and kind of the balance between people who believed everything immediately against people who questioned it, shifted with the latter being more superior. However, to me personally, I understand how a person may come out choosing to remain anonymous, say what had happened for their own sake, for their own mental health, for them to have closure and be able to move on. Sometimes that is a step that a person needs without pursuing legal actions, without doing anything afterwards. Plus, what it said were WhatsApp messages and phone recordings. The situation was hazy and sus. Between Gaiman and 2 of his accusers in one conversation, Gaiman allegedly says he obviously fucked up and actually offers to pay one of the accusers, who at this time was going by the name Claire, $60,000 for her therapy, which I don't know. I'm gonna try to leave my personal opinion out of this.
What kind of prince rides past on a horse and says, "Hey, that girl in that coffin, she's gorgeous. Can you bring her back to my castle?"
Neil Gaiman had responded publicly throughout his social media accounts after he had responded in his website, stating that he did not remember the specific interactions described, but emphasized that if the allegations were true, he deeply regretted his actions. Which is... I'm sorry, it's... I don't know what to say to that. I don't know what to say to that. He apologized for any harm caused, stressing that consent is vital in all interactions, and reaffirmed that he would take these accusations seriously. I don't understand. I understand it from the survivor or victim's point of view. I don't understand it from his point of view. I don't understand how you can come out just to say, I don't know, but if it is true, sorry. I don't understand that, and I don't understand how no one in his team did not think that's weird. That might be bizarre. That might be, maybe don't do that. Maybe don't say that. That's about when I really started developing a bad taste in my mouth. What do you even mean you don't remember? Like, oh, I slipped and my pee-pee went in. Uh-oh. Neil Gaiman's public response included an apology and commitment to reflect on the accusations. Bare minimum. He went on expressing his belief that no one should feel unsafe in any space, including literary and creative communities, and pledged to learn more about how to prevent such situations in the future. Which is just... what? One of the women that came out, and mind you, at this time there were about 8, one of them that has been babysitting Gaiman's 5-year-old child, alleged that he offered her a bath in his garden before joining her in the tub naked, allegedly asking her to sit on his lap and sexually assaulted her. While the article stresses that all the accusers had at some point played along with Gaiman's desires, even to some extent by calling him master, which he had asked for, allegedly, continuing to communicate with him, the women alleged that consent and specific BDSM activities, which allegedly they say took place, had not been discussed, agreed upon prior to them happening. A police report accusing Gaiman of sexual assault had been made in January of 2023. However, the investigation was eventually dropped. The public reaction was mixed. Some fans expressed, understandably so, disappointment, even calling for accountability to Gaiman. However, many others defended the author, stating that they have never seen any indication of such behavior in his public meetings with fans, or actually any interactions with him. The debate, though, quickly spread across social media and the literary community. Some actually that I've seen after trying to research this and, getting more information about this, believed everything solely by the fact that his books were always dark. I've seen people say, well, actually, I'm not surprised because his books were always dark, as an ipso facto. A lot of people calling for further investigation into the power dynamic and behaviors in creative industries and creative spaces. Now, when it comes to the power dynamic, it's something that is 100% real. You can meet someone who, you idolize, you like, and stuff like that. You can meet them, and during that interaction, there would be nothing off, nothing assault-y, sexual and stuff like that, versus you working for this person and there's an imbalance there in power, so they can take advantage of that. A lot of people do. So that is, I don't know, that point alone, to be honest, leads me kind of to question stuff. In the absence, though, of any criminal charges, hitherto the ones had been dropped. The situation and the matter became more about personal conduct, ethics, and how public figures engage with their communities. While no formal legal action was pursued, controversy had sparked an important conversation about boundaries, consent, and accountability. Now, a lot of people that I've seen are just done with him, understandably so, and a lot of people as well that I've seen just took it as I don't think it had happened, or that it wasn't as bad as they made it out to be, claiming that the accuser is a liar and had lied beforehand. Since the allegations surfaced, Neil Gaiman has continued his professional career, working on projects including his adaptations for film, novels, and television. However, one of Neil Gaiman's publishers that has been the spokesperson for Gaiman for years dropped him. Dark Horse Comics decided that they would no longer release their illustrated series based on Gaiman's novel Anansi Boys. HarperCollins and W.W. Norton have both said that they have no plans to release his books in the future. Disney as well has paused the planned adaptation of Gaiman's The Graveyard Book, while Netflix, however, is still scheduled to release a second season of the series based on the Sandman. Naturally and expectedly, the shadow of the allegations has lingered. The public's perception of him and his place within the literary world, not only actually the literary world, like I said before, in film, in any kind of media, has been affected tremendously by the controversy. The aftermath of the allegations continues to influence the conversation around accountability and consent. As is often the case with such serious accusations, I don't understand how to a lot of people this story or a story like this can have an easy break or an easy solution. However, as is often the case with such serious accusations, the story in fact does not have an easy or clean resolution. The literary community is still grappling with questions about power, behavior, and accountability in a place that often prefers and privileges creators over victims. For many, the question now is how to move forward, acknowledging the harm that may have been caused, while also still recognizing the complexity of the situation. Like most of us, I'm learning, and I'm trying to do the work needed. And I know that that's not an overnight process. At the same time, as I reflect on my past, and as I re-review everything that actually happened as opposed to what is being alleged, I do not accept there was any abuse. Neil Gaiman remains one of the most prominent authors of his generation. Actually, not only his generation, but generations under him, actually a couple of generations under him. But like many public figures, he has been caught in difficult and painful allegations. The resolution to this matter may never be fully clear. It is an important reminder for the need for consent, respect, and accountability, particularly in communities where power imbalances can exist and do exist and are severely taken advantage of by actually both parties. That being said, it is difficult to continue the conversation with respect and understanding because of his response. Personally though, I will continue to read the books of his that I already own. It's not something that I will ever get rid of. I highly advise you to do your own research and form your own opinion. This video is only meant to lay down what happened, well, as far as I was willing to research, but lay down what happened and the response to the allegations and what people think about this entire situation, because it's something that I care about. It's something that matters to me. This is a different video than what I usually do, so please let me know what you think of it. Let me know what you think of the situation, of the allegations, the response, and everything that came out about the author. Just your personal opinion when it comes to this. As long as you're respectful and appropriate, we'll happily discuss it though. Thank you so much for watching. I love you. Take care of yourself. Don't be stupid. I'll see you next video. Bye.